Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to Ostagar for part 11 of Dragon Age Origins with a Therapist. I, as always, really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us and to watch these videos. Your support of my content means so much to me, and I really can't express enough gratitude about your support on this. The positive feedback about this playthrough so far has been really encouraging. It certainly does motivate me to want to jump into Dragon Age Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition. I've been enjoying this run a lot, and if you've made it this far, I'm assuming that you have too. So as always, thank you so much for leaving likes on these videos, for leaving comments. I really do appreciate those. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already, and catch us live on twitch.tv/DrMick at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Time, Tuesday through Sunday. Although this one just so happens to be happening on a bonus Monday stream. All right, we got a lot. I'm assuming that we're going to have a lot of grief, closure, trauma-ish conversations tonight as we go through Ostagar. So if it gets heavy, by all means, pause the video. Take a break if you need to. I know that trauma, grief, and stuff is a pretty sensitive thing for a lot of people. We all experience grief at some point in our life. So tonight is maybe a good opportunity for us to talk a little bit about how some of that stuff happens. So let's roll. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Now it will be interesting to see if Ostagar is stable. So we checked out a lot of this stuff. Okay, so Duncan's Fire. Wasn't really anything here for us to grab. I do want to make sure that we thoroughly search this campsite though and get everything that we can get. More Darkspawn. Looting these sacks while we got more Darkspawn to take out. Alright, nice. Nice job, team. Repeater gloves. I don't know how useful that's going to be to us at the moment, but... Alrighty. Anything up here for us to check out? Oh. Okay. Alright, I tripped. Definitely didn't see that coming. Fellas, back here. Damn, Zebran. Hell yeah. We got a solid party right now. Solid party. Is anybody injured? See, now I want to make sure I'm checking in on everybody's injuries. Everybody's getting their asses handed to them sometimes. Let's see, it seems we're good so far. 2 rogues in the party and neither warned you of the trap, right? Like, guys, come on, help me out. Help a brother out. Large wooden round shield, not interested. Wooden crate, firebolt, not interested. Pile of sacks. Health poultice, that I will take. Liliana, open this chest for me. Thank you. Darkspawn mace. What happens if I shoot this? Nothing. Okay. Just fun clicky. What even was that laundry list Alistair had that one time? I don't know. It was like broken bone, lacerated kidney, head smashed in, heart cut out, liver removed, bowels unplugged, and a whole 9 yards. Cailan's chest. Merrick's blade. Oh, shit. Made with red steel. Health regeneration in combat. Weakens nearby darkspawn. Stamina regeneration plus 6 damage versus darkspawn. Oh, baby. Secret correspondence.
Judging by these documents, it's a pity we hadn't placed more trust in Orlais and less in the king's own father-in-law.
That is a sexy sword, and I must have it.
Note, Zevran, as leader of the party, I get to use Merrick's blade because it is sexy, but it is mine. Alistair, I bequeath you... Well, no, the Warden's longsword is cool. He can use that because that's Duncan's. If you want the green blade, I can give that to you, though, Zevran. But to me, it seems like he would be better off with a dagger. So we're just gonna hold off on that. All right, let's read this codex. I'm super intrigued by this. What do we got here? Notes. Cailan's documents, page 1 of 3. To His Majesty, King Cailan of Ferelden, my Warden Commander assures me that we face a blight. This thing threatens us both, and we must work together to fight it, lest it devour all. Our two nations have not had a happy history, but that is all it is, history. It is the future that is at stake now. Let us put aside our father's disagreements so that we may secure the future for both our countries. My chevaliers stand ready and will accompany the Grey Wardens of Orlais to Ferelden. At your word, the might of Orlais will march to reinforce the Ferelden forces. Sincerely, Empress Celine I. An official letter from Empress Celine I of Orlais to King Cailan of Ferelden. Page 2. Your Majesty, my men will arrive as soon as possible to bolster your forces. Maker willing, this blight will be ended before it has begun. Cailan, I beseech you, as your uncle, not to join the Grey Wardens on the field. You cannot afford to take this risk. Ferelden cannot afford it. Let me remind you again that you do not have an heir. Your death, and it pains me to even think of it, would plunge Ferelden into chaos. And yes, perhaps, when this is over, you will allow me to bring up the subject of your heir. While a son from both the Theron and Mactyr lines would unite Ferelden like no other, we must accept that perhaps this can never be. The Queen approaches her 13th year, and her ability to give you a child lessens with each passing month. Ugh. I get that they did things differently back then, but oh my lord. I submit to you again that it might be time to put Honora aside. We parted harshly the last time I spoke of this, but it has been a full year since then, and nothing has changed. Wait, does that say Oh, okay. It says 30. It says 30. I thought it said 13th. I legitimately read that as 13th. I thought that, like, she had her first period, and he was like, yo, dude, we got to get in there fresh. Got to get in there fresh, man. Every month, man. She's just burning through her eggs now at 13 go. Okay, all right, so we're... Okay, 30th year. Yeah, that's still pretty young, but... Okay, I read that completely wrong. Okay, good. I'm in a better headspace now. Good God. Like, she approaches her 13th year. What are you doing? All right. Anyway, this is Dragon Age Origins, it's not Game of Thrones, right? Goes to show, though, kind of the... Yeah, okay. Whatever. I submit to you again that it might be time to put Honora aside. We parted harshly the last time I spoke of this, but it has been a full year since then and nothing has changed. Please, nephew, consider my words, and Andraste's grace be with you. A letter from Arl Eamon to King Cailan. Oh, baby. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that could be going into that. And, I mean, I just think about how the amount of pressure there is really tricky. Because you don't... This is a really good opportunity to talk about the fact that, like, you don't know everything that's going on in a person's life. Think about the level of complexity in your own life. All the things you've been through, all the problems you've faced, all the physical limitations you might have, all the things that have happened that other people weren't around to bear witness to. I mean, just the complexity of a human life is incredible, especially by the time you get to like 30 years old. So everybody else has a very myopic view of everybody else. So Arl Eamon is looking at Cailan. He's like, dude, your girlfriend or your wife or whatever, she's 30. You haven't had children. What the hell, man? You got to unite the realm, blah, blah, blah. When in reality, like, maybe Cailan is sterile. Maybe Anora can't have children. Maybe the two of them are so happy with each other that they don't want to have kids. And Cailan is like, nah, man, I want to, like, go run with the Grey Wardens, and I want to be happy in my marriage. And bringing a baby around? You kidding me, man? How am I supposed to slay Darkspawn while I have a kid around? There is an infinite amount of possibilities as to why Cailan and Anora don't have a child. And Eamon is like, come on, man. Now, yes, are there political implications of this? Sure. Are there wider sociological ripple effects being in a position that he as the king is in? Yes. At the same time, Cailan's the king, so he can figure out what he wants to do in order to problem solve that. He's not... Nobody should ever tell you what to do with your genitals and with your sexual fluids, okay? And so Arl Eamon putting pressure on that, I think is not fair to Cailan, because him and Anora can make that decision. So always remember that your view of any other human being is limited, even if it's somebody that you think you know incredibly well. You will never understand the full complexity of a person's experience, especially a stranger. So try not to operate from that when you're telling people what to do or whatnot. It's why, as a therapist, I have to do so much assessment before I start intervening with folks on what they're working with, because you just can't possibly know everything that goes into a certain decision or a certain thing that's happening for somebody. Maybe Cailan has erectile dysfunction and he's like way up in his head about it, and him and Anora just aren't in sync sexually, and they want to have a baby, but you never know what the answer is. But there is definitely empathy to be had if you're willing to be curious about it. Okay. Let's go over here, I suppose. Thank God they left the opening that's not glitchy open. Darkspawn on the bridge? Probably. No, just some ghosts, it seems. Boy, this is wild. All this shit went down here. Was there a third note? Not in there. Not that I could see anyway. There's 1 of 3, 2 of 3. But then we just have credits, so I'm guessing we'll probably find it somewhere else. Oh, wow. Dokie. Oh, and the little weenie's gonna run away after he summons his minions? Good. Oh, man, that sucks. Okay. Let's take these guys out. Real quick. I'm gonna go run over. Oh, no, I'm frozen. Oh, boy. Zevran's... Alright, Zevran's got it handled. Oh, shit. Alright, but he died. Big Robbie, thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate that very much. Oh! Liliana, you doing alright? Okay. Alright. Alistair, drink your poultice. Liliana, drink your poultice. Me, drink your poultice. A lot of darkspawn. Man, this is brutal, though. I mean, this is the Darkspawn sending a message. You know what's fascinating about this is, like, these Darkspawn we conceptualize as being just these, like, savage zombie beast type things. But you don't do that. So this right here, you don't do unless you have some way of conceptualizing, like, symbolism. And have a way of anticipating the impact that this would have. Like, this shows a very abstract understanding of the world. That the Darkspawn would know, one, that that's the king. Two, that putting the king up like that, essentially like crucifying him at the stake with this whole symbol or whatever, is going to send a message to any humans that pass by. Like, there's actual malintent behind this. You don't just randomly do this and have this kind of impact. So, these Darkspawn have probably more mental resources to them than people give them credit for, which makes them all the more terrifying to fight against, because they know enough about humans and grief and trauma to know that if you slap Cailan up there like that, you have sent a very profound message. It's just, you know, it looks like, you know, you look at that and you go, oh my god. But then you really think about it, and you're like, oh my god. The Archdemon at least is supposed to be intelligent for sure, but... Damn. Alright, so I'm guessing Zevran is injured. Yes, he is. Okay. Well, let's do this right. So yeah, if you're Cailan, or if you're Alistair there, and you have to see Cailan, this is going to stir up a whole lot of stuff. So this is where we're going to start getting into some of this grief talk. So when you're grieving, there's a lot of unknowns sometimes that go along with that. Sometimes there's a lot of knowns, but it freezes everything in place. And we talked about this a little bit in the last episode. Well, Cailan is a symbol to Alistair. Beyond just the fact that I suppose they're half-brothers. Cailan is somebody that Alistair followed. Somebody that Duncan seemed to have some respect for, and so by association, I would assume that Alistair had respect for. But it also, Cailan in this moment represents a tangible symbol of what Alistair potentially could have received as a traumatic event, which is that the Grey Wardens couldn't stop the Darkspawn. Was it Loghain's fault to an extent? Sure. But Alistair's entire world and conceptualization of the Grey Wardens crumbled down when they were not able to hold Ostagar. And he wasn't in the battlefield with Duncan when he died. He wasn't there to protect King Cailan. He was in the tower with me. So seeing Cailan's body up on that stake is going to bring all of that back. But the thing is, if we were to translate this a little more to real life, you don't have to see King Cailan on the stake in order for that to have that kind of impact on you. People will internalize the image they have of somebody and attach that meaning to it. So if you even see something that was a possession of Cailan's, it can stir that up and really bring that grief back. So when we talk about processing grief, one of the things that we would be talking to Alistair about here as we stand near Cailan's corpse and as we walk across this bridge is we help him re-engage with the control he has for the narratives he tells himself about the thing that happened. Right? This isn't about the futility of the Grey Wardens. This isn't about Duncan being weak. This is about an awful circumstance that Logain pulled back from, violated everybody's expectations in that, and Alistair had very little influence, no matter what, in what was going to go down that day, because he is but one man. So let's figure out how we want to remember these people and take control of that narrative rather than allowing the circumstances of their death to control it. It's a very important, simple, yet profound process that goes through with grief. Is really finding a grasp on the way that you control your narrative through it. So I actually want to talk to Alistair and see if he has anything to say here.
What do you need? Ask away.
And none of it is relevant, so we're good. It doesn't matter. Okay. Alright, so we've got some nasty little darkspawn over here that we gotta... Darkspawn War Axe. Take that. Just... Cailan's sword is freaking badass. I'm really glad we came here just so I can get that. Okay. By the way, I'm gonna get this out of the way at the outset. The stages of grief that you probably have heard of before are not a concrete law of grief. You don't have to go through all the stages. You don't go through them in any particular order. You're not grieving wrong if one of those or more experiences don't happen for you. The stages of grief is one of those little pieces of pop psychology that people often use to compare themselves to, more often than not to their detriment. So take the idea that you have to go through stages of grief and get it out of your head. Grief is a unique process to every individual person and every individual context and every individual thing that is being grieved. There is no right or wrong way to grieve. The most important thing when you are grieving is to attend to the grief, to recognize that it is happening, to pay attention to the ways in which you are processing and holding on to whatever it is that you are grieving and to the narratives that you are creating. But just because you don't get angry or just because you don't bargain or whatever doesn't mean that you're grieving improperly. Don't ever let somebody tell you how to grieve. Because at the end of the day, the way that you grieve is how you're grieving, and that's what needs attention. Cannot emphasize that enough, Chad. And it's good. You're going to hear that a little bit as an undertone while I am going through this DLC here, because there's, I'm sure, going to be maybe a few opportunities to hear Alistair talk about different things. And the way that Alistair reacts is emotionally, there's nothing wrong with. That said, there are times where people grieve where they do things, they choose certain behaviors that hurt people. That's not okay. Or hurt themselves. You probably don't want to do that either. Alright, let's take the archer down. Zevran pulls a lot of aggro.
Up there, the Tower of Ishal. Let's do this.
Shoot. Thanks for the 10 months, buddy. Juice, are you going to TwitchCon? If so, DM me. Cailan's gauntlets. Alright, Juice, DM me. DM me, buddy. There's a conversation in our midst. Cailan's gauntlets. Yep, gonna wear them. And the one thing, Cailan's breastplate is a little bit gaudy. I also think it's going to be a little wild if I'm like walking around all of Ferelden and I've got the king's armor on. It's a little intense, man. Like, just, hey, what up, everybody? Don't mind my shiny gold beautiful armor that was worn by your king. That's what I was saying, right? Yeah, it is a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. Now, that said, I do subscribe to a bit of a utilitarian view of that. Like, that armor does us no good sitting in a pile of sex. Or sitting on a Darkspawn. Darkspawn longsword. We'll grab that. Hopefully that doesn't kill somebody. Just recklessly shooting arrows down into Ferelden. I would think that armor would look huge on you because elves are smaller than humans. That's also a good point. Good thing it magically just fits to my sweet curves. Helmet. Studded leather boots. Meh.
Yes.
Another helmet made of steel. Zevran, would you like a helmet? No, it requires 22 strength. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm not into that. I think we're gonna go ahead and just destroy that. And let's grab steel. Requires 18 strength. Good lord. All right. Let's go to the tower. This is going to be an interesting one for me and for Alistair because we were quite literally there. And that was where we got our asses whooped by that ogre, and then we had to get saved by Flemeth. I want to go this way first, though. I don't want to go in the tower yet. I want to explore. Oh, shit. That little shaman guy. Gotta kill green poison guy. Hate these guys. Nice. Okay. Concealed deathroot extract. Demonic ichor. am I cursed or some shit? Okay. Warmth bomb.
All right.
Deep mushroom. Not interested. Or these fools. General. Devron, why are you always running off, buddy? Devron thinks he's a tank, and he is not. Me or Alistair, you gotta follow us. Oh god, we got shades? What? Oh no, those aren't shades.
Could someone please stop the bleeding?
Okay. At least they're not square blood anymore either. Sir Poultice. Alright, what do we got here? Cailan's breastplate. There it is. Woo-hoo-hoo, baby! Now we can give Alistair my iron bark. Can he not wear? Oh, he needs 30 strength to wear the iron bark. Okay. This shit is fire. Look at this. Oh, baby. Look at me. I am your king. I'm the king now. This would be probably pretty trippy for Alistair to see me wearing this shit. Not gonna lie. Probably like, dude, this is super weird. But again, it is humans who attach sentiment to objects. Like, this armor I'm wearing doesn't actually have any inherently symbolic value. It is literally just metal. We humans are the ones who attach sentiment to it and make it mean more than the materials that it is. And I say this because it's important, I think, sometimes for people to connect with that fact, particularly when they're grieving, because you'll see things like people, like if parents lose a child, they won't go into the room that their child occupied in their house, and all of the objects that were there are objects that they associate with the child, and they associate with the pain of losing the child and the promise that the child had, and all these sorts of things. And I'm not trying to invalidate that. It makes complete sense. At the same time, it is important to start to recognize that some of these things, like, we're choosing to attach sentimental value to these things. So you can redirect that in certain ways. Like, there are ways where you could look at that and you could say, you know what, that's a piece of armor. That piece of armor is not Cailan. Sure, Cailan was wearing it when he died. Sure, it was made for him. But that piece of armor does not have to be a representation of Cailan himself. And we can kind of work through that. Seeing it stirs some real stuff up, but we can override that, and we can work through making it so that seeing that armor maybe doesn't elicit the not so great response that we don't want to have. But it is a choice to ascribe meaning to things. Or not even necessarily a choice to ascribe meaning to something, but it's certainly a choice to perpetuate the meaning that we attach to certain things. Look at this little bitch. Run around and fight like a real dark spawn. will say this is a really clever way to extend game time and reuse assets. Go through the same tower again. Oh god, an ogre. Okay. Oh, Zevran, my dude. Oh man, you can't go running at the ogre like that, buddy. Not good. Zevran just got his ass kicked. We're gonna run out of injury kits, buddy, if you keep that up. Zev ran into certain death. Am I right or am I right? Leveled up though, huh? Dexterity, strength. Yeah, you need some more constitution if you're gonna be running in there like that, big dog. Dual weapon. Character's extremely skilled at wielding a weapon in each hand, gaining bonuses to attack and defense. Yeah, we'll go with that. I am still trying to contemplate what okay. Good. I don't know that I don't think I have any more injury kits. Yeah, I don't, so that's fun. Yeah, I agree with that, Scott, but look what the Darkspawn have done to this place, right? Like, they tarnished it. They made it their own. They turned our house into their home. I don't like it. What the hell? Where are you assholes? Oh, that's a lot of Darkspawn. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh, we are wrecking these guys. Okay. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Oh, one hit kills. Let's go. We're like Sir Lancelot at Swamp Castle right now. Whoa. The Zirkarn. Look at that thing. Who's a good boy? Isle of... Oops. Isle of Filth. Arrow of Filth. Large Darkspawn Shield. I don't know that we need that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take that just in case. Maybe we can give that to Sten at some point. Weapon stand. Nug Crusher. Maul. Two-handed. Jeez. Alright, we'll take that.
Ugh. Down the hole and into the deep. I don't even want to imagine where that leads.
Yeah, not gonna be fun, but we're here. Studded leather armor. Barricaded door. The door is barricaded from either side. You see no way to pass. Okay then. But really about how do we?
I'm off.
Okay, down the hatch. Chest over here. Soldier's helm. Heavy metal shield. I'll take the soldier's helm. Is there a spider? Yeah, spider warning. If you're not into spiders, I know some people get a little spooked by a giant spider. Giant spiders tend to appear in old ruins and other places where the veil has become thin because of magical disturbances or a great number of deaths. In such places, spirits and demons pass into the world of the living and attempt to take control over living beings, spiders among them. Not all scholars accept this explanation for the presence of these beasts, however. Some claim that the thinning veil allows magic to leak from the Fade, tainting such creatures as these spiders to transform into larger and more potent creatures than they ever would become naturally. While such spiders are known to possess powerful poisons and the ability to fling their webs at opponents in combat, studies of them have been few and full range of their abilities are unknown. Corrupted spiders are giant arachnids that originally grew in the depths of the deep roads, feeding on numerous species of large bats. When the deep roads were lost to the darkspawn, they began to feed on the numerous genlocks, and their numbers grew exponentially, as did their size. The darkspawn taint has become a permanent part of their system, passed on to their progeny. This has had the effect of increasing their size abnormally, as well as their aggressiveness. Some corrupted spiders have made their lairs in surface forests, but most remain underground, close to their blight-tainted meals. Shriek. Scholars call these tall, lean darkspawn the Sharlock, though they are more popularly known as shrieks because of their ear-splitting cries they emit in battle. Many tales exist of soldiers being unnerved by the sounds of approaching shrieks, cloaked in darkness and never seen until the moment they strike. As horrors of the night, shrieks are renowned for their incredible speed and agility as well as their stealth. They are the assassins of the darkspawn, penetrating the enemy lines and striking their targets using long, jagged blades attached to their forearms to rip their opponent to shreds in seconds. They have been known to employ poison, often drawn from their own blood, and have demonstrated cunning group tactics when attacking in numbers. You just gotta know what we're working with, y'all. Gotta know what you're working with in the battlefield. Alright. You're in the bowels of Ostagar. Oh, hello, spiders. Guys, can you get them off of me, please? Thank you. Oh my god, that would be awful. That would be awful to have a spider on top of you like that. Good lord. Was that terrible? Now I'm a bloody mess. They are probably heavy as hell. Ooh, look at a mummified dude in that hole. Oh my gosh. Now I'm worried spiders at any time are going to drop down on us. In addition to having to fight these darkspawn. Where are you guys going? Hey, come back. Guys, where are you going? What are you doing? Okay. You just prefer to die here? Okay. I mean, I guess it's fair that you should be able to choose your resting place. I can afford you that much. Okie. I love that. Just a pack of darkspawn are just like, nah. We're going over here. There's bound to be spiders in here. What up? Level up again? Oh, Alistair leveled up, okay. Oh man. Why are they so loud? Man, the spiders are crazy loud. Of all the enemies to make louder than the rest too, man. Like, good lord.
Yes.
Alistair. Let's get you... Heavy chainmail boots. What am I currently wearing? I'm wearing Cailan's boots, yeah. Alistair's already got those on, so we're good. Gather your party and venture forth. Yes, let's go. What will be down here? Oh. Oh. Oh, wow. So instead of going up the tower, we went down. And we're about to go walk out on the battlefield. This would be a wild experience. Oh, okay. When you go to the site of a place that had a really dramatic effect on you, whether it was trauma or whether it was a significant event, having a flashback in the form of an involuntary intrusive thought is not uncommon. The reason for that is because, as we've discussed before, your brain scans the environment when traumatic and adverse things happen to you. So when you go back to the very environment at which it happened, your brain can very easily make the immediate association, because there are so many stimuli that are related that it will throw an intrusive thought into your consciousness, potentially as a way to protect you, so that you see the arrows coming at you from that space and your immediate thought is, oh, I got to get out of here, to protect yourself. Because the brain is wired in such a way that it is akin to making you do things where you will survive, making behavioral choices that increase your survivability. So if at one point we were down here, now I realize we weren't down here, but let's say we were, so that seeing that in your mind of those arrows coming at you, you're like, nah, man, I'm not doing this again. Because your brain thinks you're more likely to survive if you're not here in the first place. So in some ways there's a real utility to flashbacks like what we just saw. And they don't necessarily need to be fought against. They could be distressing, but that's where, again, we have to do a bit of reprocessing and really be intentional about the narratives we're creating around this, particularly when we have an opportunity like this to revisit that spot. Now this is guessing the ogre that killed Cailan and Duncan would be my guess. Really? We gotta fight the ghosts? up, Brian. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, we gotta go kill this asshole. Hey, everybody over here. Kill this douchebag. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, the necromancer just brings it back to life again, right? Oh, I like how these ghosts can carry loot.
Yes.
Alright, we got an injury kit. Alright, what do we got here? Duncan's dagger, Duncan's sword. Oh wow, Duncan's sword is actually really solid. I'm gonna give Alistair Duncan's sword. I'm guessing that would be pretty meaningful for him. Duncan's sword is pretty cool anyway. And then I'm gonna give Zevron his dagger. Okay. But where's Duncan's donut? He didn't pay me enough to mention it on this stream. Alright, I do want to go over here. Just to see if there's anything showing over here. There is, but we can't go in there. Also, hi Victoria. By the way, to answer a question in chat, kind of, you don't have to be diagnosed with PTSD to experience flashbacks. It's a common misconception. Just because you have a flashback doesn't mean that you have, like, a diagnosis. Flashbacks are perfectly common. Cailan's helm. There we go.
There. That is the last of them. I only pray we can carry them as valiantly as he.
Oh, oh, baby. Yes. Yes, indeed. Come on now. That is badass as hell. Absolutely badass. Probably should have put it on. But, hey. What do I know? I look like such a badass now. Good God. Yeah, I totally didn't kill the king. Wasn't me. Couldn't have been me. Okay. Where do I go now? Darkspawn Necromancer has been dealt with. The Darkspawn will return to this place, but for now, at least it is yours and yours alone. You should deal with the king's body to make sure you have everything you need from the area before it grows dark. Oh. Okay. should deal with the king's body. It's all the way up on that high-ass bridge. Are you telling me I gotta go walk my ass all the way back through? Thanks for the armor, Cailan.
Oh, they left him here to rot. We need to do something.
He is of royal blood and deserves a pyre. Bring him down and leave him to the wolves. He's dead and gone. Let the Darkspawn have their fun. He's of royal blood. He deserves a pyre.
He was a good man who hoped too much and died too young. He deserves what little honor we can afford to grant him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing this for Alistair. This isn't about Cailan. This is about Alistair. This is about the people that are close to him. Zevron disapproves. What? Okay. Sorry, Zevron. Do you not like the smell of burning flesh, or what? Doesn't smell enough like leather for you, buddy? Watching him burn while wearing his armor. It's poetic. I'm covered in blood. Zeb wanted the Darkspawn to have their fun, apparently, yeah. So, closure is something that people seek a lot when they are dealing with grief. And what that really amounts to generally is people want the loose ends that were left open when a person died to have a bit of a tidy close. It makes it easier for us cognitively because then we're not left to answer all of the gaps ourselves. When you have the opportunity to gain some closure, I generally recommend that people take it. This was an opportunity for Alistair to have some closure, to find Cailan's body, to witness the pyre, to have some control over that process, and to honor him in a way that was meaningful for him. That's awesome. You would be surprised how many people have an opportunity for closure and they bail on it because they don't want to deal with the emotion associated with doing the ritual. Like Alistair, if he didn't possess a level of emotional intelligence and reflectivity, there's a chance that he says, no, I can't handle the intensity of that, and then misses out on an opportunity to process that in a very meaningful way. Don't stop yourself from a meaningful ritual that brings about closure because you're worried about how intense the emotional experience is going to be. A lot of people end up regretting it. That said, it is actually more common for people to not have something that happens where they get closure. Which means that in the aftermath of a death, as you work through the process of grief, it is actually on you to symbolically create those closures on your own, internally. And what that sometimes looks like is really reflecting internally on the experience you had of a person. Finding certain things that you can associate with that person. Again, I know I keep saying this a lot, but choosing your narrative as it relates to how you're going to process them. Have those conversations with that person that you didn't get to have as realistically as you can internally. Accept that there are certain things that that person is never going to be able to tell you because they are no longer around to tell you. It's a very complicated thing because humans create symbols. We see relationships as more than just utilitarian. They have meaning to us that is constructed, and so it is on us to work through that construction post-death. If you ever get the opportunity to grieve the loss of a person as you are losing them, and being with them in that process, not taking over their experience with your grief, but like processing it alongside, that can save you a lot of heartache down the road. But if something happens instantly, like in the case with Cailan here, you really got to take some time and internally process through that. Ask certain questions, put things into place, add some context, attend to the emotional experience. It's a long-ish road, but it's not a bad one if you open yourself up to it. Again, your process is your process. And sure, I'm not going to read too much into Zevron's disapproval there, but yeah, Zevron's got a very complicated history with grief, for sure. So, you know, him being a little bit him not being into that moment, it makes sense. Like, I don't fault him for it. Okay, I'm glad we did that. I'm going to go back to the camp. We'll regroup, and then we'll decide where we want to go next. Pants happily. Pet Dirk. Yeah. You're a good doggy. I wonder if Alistair has anything to say about what we just hit.
What do you need? Ask away.
He doesn't. That's really interesting.
Yes? Well, here I am.
You witnessed the rarest of things, Warden. The Dalish stand ready to defend Ferelden.
Oh, interesting. He comes to camp with me? Sure. Do you need anything?
We have assembled on a short schedule. Certain factors of equipment could be better. Crafting components would serve best. Basic ones like elf root and deep mushroom. At your word, Warden.
You ready?
Always, Warden.
Okay. We need some mushrooms. Sten, what up, homie?
Yes.
Oh, no, I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Actually, never mind.
Very well. Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on. As you wish.
Alright, so there's not any new dialogue. So now I just have to decide what I want to do with my life. Let's get everybody equipped here. Let's make sure people are vibing. Then I bequeath you the shield. And I give you this helm. And I give you this heavy chainmail, which you're already wearing. And I give you Morgan. I wouldn't do that to you, Morgan. I wouldn't do that to you. Dirk. Now, where do I want to go? Oh man, I kind of think we need to go to Denerim. Like I think we go to Denerim because we really need to figure out how to get the Arl back. We need to find the urn.
Indeed.
Yes. Yes.
I want to know what is this, I want to know what this battlefield is. Crossback Mountains. Lake Cailan had docks, Redcliffe Castle, Redcliffe Village, Salters Pass, Battlefield, Denerim. Let's go to the battlefield. Screw it. Let's go see what that's got for us. Oh, yay. Oh, old Reagan. On the old Oregon Trail.
You have coin, stranger? With Orzammar closed off, Old Tegra can give you a discount. Fine weapon and arms, dwarven made.
Let's see that discount of yours, big. Well, what's going on in Orzammar?
There's two things I'm here for. Travel or trade. Understand?
Got it. Let's see this discount of yours. Tome of Skill and Sundry. A sprawling work of early Ferelden that attempts to unify many. This tome gives the reader 1 point to spend on a skill, but is rendered useless afterwards. It's expensive, but I may take it. Blue satin shoes, painting of the Rebel Queen, ornate leather belt. Dwarven heavy armor. Ooh, I bet that looks cool. But it doesn't fit anybody that's in my party, though. Alright, I'll buy that. And sir, I would like to sell you some things, if you don't mind. Too much shit, man. Too much stuff. Okay, thanks, man, I guess. I appreciate it. Let's get Liliana leveled up. How do I get her to more... Get her constitution up maybe a little bit there. Master combat training. She needs 22 cunning to lockpick. And me. More strength. Alistair. long way to travel. Deserted battlefield. Bloody corpse. Soldier's diary. Quest updated. You found the conscripts of the company of Ishal dead to man. Report the unfortunate news to the Chantry Board. Oh, that's all I had to do? Of course we got wolves. Of course we do. Okie. Armor, not interested. Scale armor, not interested. What the hell else are we fighting? God, why are there so many wolves here? Goodness gracious. Hey. Please be done. Now a bear. Oh, hello, random bear. Okay. A lot of animals here. My goodness. Okay, we're gonna go to Redcliffe Village and we're gonna go turn that in. And then do I want to go? Okay, so then it's either Denerim or the Magi, I guess. Or maybe, I guess, we could go to Orzammar, but I don't have... Oh, boy. Okay, wow. Severine, buddy. Love the enthusiasm, man, but... I guess I appreciate the XP and the silver, but we got... Oh, what is it? Oh, shit! Who's this? Who are you? Elven Scout. Oh, no. You there. You good? Holocene, thank you very much for the Prime sub. I appreciate that, friend. Thank you very much. I am going to use this opportunity as I clean up this battlefield to say, if you are here on YouTube, thank you so much for watching these playthroughs and supporting what I do. If you're here on Twitch watching me live and chatting, thank you so much for being here. I do not take for granted that you take time out of your day or night to watch and support what I do. As always, I hope that the things I have to say are meaningful in some way. I also just want to say to those of you that are members on YouTube by hitting the join button, or if you sub, gift subs, resubs, if you send bits, or if you bought any merch in the merch store, which the link's down in the description, or exclamation point merch in chat if you're here on Twitch. Thank you for your financial support of the stream. It does make a huge difference. It does allow me to bring good quality content here. I turn all the money I make on the stream into the stream, so I do appreciate all of you as well that support me in that way. But more than anything, I appreciate you being here. So thanks so much for taking the time. There's no reason to travel any further in this direction. Okay. We're taking the long way around Lake Cailan. All so we can go hit up the Chantry board. I am intrigued to know if that mage is still chilling in the prison. I'm guessing he probably is until the Arl wakes up. If we can get the urn to wake him up.
Blessed are the peacekeepers, champions of the just.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Awesome. No more quests. We are good to go. Just needed to stop off and do that. Alrighty, off we go.
The danger to Redcliffe isn't over. A civil war rages and the Darkspawn army draws near. I'm ready to fight again if need be. For Ferelden and the Arl!
Bow to your king. Oh, I'm not the king. Don't let it go to your head, Ryan. Actually, I am gonna go to... I'm actually wondering if it might be smart to go to the Tower of the Magi. Because maybe they would know how to wake up the Arl without me chasing after this stupid-ass urn. You know? Denerim feels dangerous because Denerim is just so large. Denerim is getting close to Loghain, so I want to maybe clean up some loose ends before we go there.
What do you need?
Nothing, dude. I just clicked on you by accident. God, can a guy misclick? This is pretty cool.
We're coming here to see the mages, right? Oh, great. They just love me.
Yeah, you know, I actually am not sure that bringing Alistair is a particularly good idea, but I don't really know who I would bring instead. Like, bringing a Templar to the mages is not the best look. I could totally understand if they see that as an act of aggression. Actually, we're going to go over here. I'll go talk to these folks first. Shady Thug. Samuel the Deserter.
What business would the mighty Grey Wardens have with a man like me?
I'm here on behalf of the Blackstone Irregulars.
Oh? What is this about?
Here you stole supplies from the guild. I'm here to bring you in for desertion.
I worried this might happen. I hoped it wouldn't be you who came for me. I have no choice. Forgive me, Warden, but I cannot go back with you.
Oh, that's a real shame, man. People will just never learn, man. I'm stronger than you, and I know it. Field supplies. Alright. Got those back. Don't mind me, Kester.
Wow, I've never seen one of you knife ears dressed like the King of Ferelden before. You made good for yourself, eh?
Okay. You know what? I can actually appreciate him saying that because, yeah, that would totally throw you for a loop, right? Like, you see an elf who you're generally, your representation of them is that they're, like, totally less than and they're indentured servants. And he shows up wearing the king's armor. I mean, yeah, I'd probably, it'd be hard not to make some kind of comment, so. Yes, I made good. Excuse me?
Oh, I don't mean no offense. I know I shoot my mouth off. I'm just not used to your kind, trussed up all fancy.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, it's a shame that an elf in decent clothing is so rare.
Oh, no doubt about it. You pointy ears look better in fancy clothes than us clumsy lugs. Oh, there I go again. I don't mean nothing by it. I swear I should start over. I'm mighty pleased to be making your acquaintance, sir.
Ah, there we go. Nice job. There is a difference between malicious and intentional microaggressions and intentional, or sorry, let me start over. There's a difference between malicious and intentional microaggressions and microaggressions that happen inadvertently as the result of a lack of education or experience. And we all would do well to understand the difference between those things. This guy said some stuff here that isn't great, right? It's not ideal. It's not exactly what I would want to hear as an elf. But we can understand him and where he's coming from. He doesn't seem to mean anything malicious by it. I think he's just trying to connect. He's making an observation that honestly makes sense in the context that he's in. So I can have a little bit more patience with him. Rather than just immediately jumping down his throat and being like, hey man, you can't be saying shit, blah, blah, blah. That's not very becoming to connection and this guy doing better in the future. Now, if he came at me and was malicious and nasty, and I was like, dude, what the hell? And he was like, nah, F you elves don't know shit, and came at me with vitriol, then that's a problem. When people microaggress because they want to piss you off, or because they know it irritates you, or because they know that it's going to get a rise out of somebody, that's where you lose respect and where those people need to be held accountable. But they're a bit of patience for folks who inadvertently microaggress because they don't actually know that it's a microaggression. They don't have the representation or education to understand the context they're in in which they're saying something like that. A little bit of patience, some good dialogue, some look at intent in addition to impact, I think is an important conversation to have. So this guy I'm not going to be hostile with here. I could be if I wanted to be, but I don't know that there's much point in it because he's like, all right, sorry, man, let me reset here. It's nice to meet you. I'm not good at controlling. I'm going to work on controlling what I have to say. I'm going to be nice to the guy because again, I can be a alternative representation of elves for him. Do you know how I can get to the tower?
Don't hold your breath. No one's been allowed across the lake for days. I'm the ferryman. Leastwise, I used to be. Poor old Kester. Out of a job.
Oh. How come?
I don't got a clue. They wouldn't tell me. Gregor just came down and said, "Don't you worry, Kester, we got it all under control, we do." Didn't say nothing else. And then he puts Carol in charge of my boat. Lissy, named for my grandmum she was.
Really? Who's Gregor?
He's Knight Commander of the Templars up in the tower. Good man.
Okay, is there something wrong up there?
I told you, they didn't tell me nothing. And if I know they're mages, I'm better off keeping out of their business. If I had to guess, I'd guess it had to do with magic, but the tower's always got something to do with magic.
Yeah. Is there no way to get across?
You could try swimming, but I don't recommend it. Nasty things in that lake. I reckon it's all them potions they dump in there. Gregor's told me to stay here till it blows over, but I'm telling you, some storms don't blow over easy.
I gotta find out what's going on.
Well, you go on ahead. Gregor tells me to stay here, I stay here. I reckon the fella knows what he's talking about.
You know him well?
Oh, I can't say that. I'm lucky he's good enough to give me the time of day. The first enchanter's all right. He's polite as can be, but he's always a little distant, if you get my drift. But Gregor'll stay to talk. I reckon he likes hearing from us common folk, you know? He's a man to be respected, that Gregor.
Alright, what are your opinions on the circle?
I reckon it's good for them mages. Gather them all, learn them some proper magics. I know what they say about mages, but the Maker made them for a purpose. If you can't trust him, who can you trust?
Can't stay, man. Good day.
All right. Keep safe, you hear?
Spoiled princess. Disgruntled patron.
Leave me alone.
Okay.
Allow me. I can do that for you.
Love letter. Ooh. Another correspondence, my dearest Virginia True Royal, regarding bodice ripped. Enclosed are 7 silver and my most heartfelt apologies for said bodice. I would blame the cold ocean spray, the loss of my favorite shirt, the buckling of the stallion, or perhaps the strain of maintaining all such elements while sitting for a portrait, but I was certainly not myself. I hope you'll forgive me and not take it upon yourself to find your own determined way in this world. Yours, Sir Rivel Grousman.
Good day.
Hello. Got any rumors, barkeep?
Good day, and welcome to the Spoiled Princess. Is there something I can get for you?
This seems like a really random place to have a bar. Why is the inn called the Spoiled Princess?
It was my father's idea. He ran the inn before me, and he named it for my sister. She was his little princess. Princess decided the country was too dull for her and moved to Denerim. More glamorous, she said. Well, she was found murdered, robbed of all the trinkets my father bought her with his hard-earned money. My father died of shock and heartbreak. Mother stopped eating, and I got the struggling inn. The name stuck. That's the story.
That's a lot, man. Wow. Okay, I should get going.
Of course. If there's anything I can get you, just let me know.
Damn. Okay.
I'm off.
Maybe it's for the Templars. That's a good call. Probably is. Aegis Collective Liaison.
You're the Grey Warden, aren't you? Exactly who I was hoping to meet. I represent a collective of mages interested in going about their lives without the constant scrutiny of the Chantry.
Okay, tell me more.
The collective is a self-policing guild of mages who simply want to be left alone. We mean no offense to the Chantry, but we would rather live on our own terms. Next to me, and in every major settlement, you will find an inconspicuous sack containing requests from mages all over the land who need the assistance of someone skillful and discreet.
I can take a look at those. I'm not totally in favor of the fact that the mages are basically shunned off into a tower, so I'm intrigued. It doesn't mean I have to do anything with the requests, but I will look at them.
Thank you, my friend. We have agents in every major settlement to reward you for work done on behalf of the collective. Makers smile upon you.
Thanks, man. Okay. The Mages Collective. Despite the loyalist grasp on the mages' political community, many libertarians and equitarians have begun to see eye to eye with respect to the Chantry's role in a mage's daily life. A growing number of mages, particularly those whose magic never strays from the Maker's mandate, feel that the Chantry's constant oversight is a burden upon their creativity and their very will, and one that hinders their ability to do their work. These mages, along with a number of hedge wizards who work with the arts outside of the Chantry's influence, have formed a shadow guild of sorts, a mages collective, wherein members can submit requests and have them seen to without judgment. This collective manages to work in relative secrecy, their members discreet and their clients anonymous. As of yet, this collective has seen no sanction from the Templars, and there has been no sign that its members are practicing magic of which the Maker would not approve. The Maker. Jesus, okay. Maker show up himself and say, don't use this magic? Why did you create magic if you don't want people to use it? Okay, here's my nightly rant on the Maker. Still, practicing magic outside of the influence of the Chantry is a dream for some and a dangerous notion for others, and many believe that it is only a matter of time before the veil of secrecy is lifted and the Mages Collective is brought to swift and brutal justice. From a treatise on magic and politics by the first enchanter Josephus. Mages Collective bag. Places of power. Hear me and obey. My power waning. I, Krebelash the Epithet, require a reconnection to the mystic places I have left behind. You, the bearer of this note, shall travel to these places and trace upon them my personal glyphs, claiming their eldritch energies for my own. You will come upon sites of mystic power in the ancient places of the world, the Brazilian forest, the deep roads, and the heart of Denerim, and near the base of the Circle Tower. Careless accusations. The activities of the Maleficarum on my doorstep do not go unnoticed, and now I am in danger of being brought before the Templars myself. A small band of drifters claim to have seen me practicing forbidden arts, and they have left to deliver testimony of my alleged deeds to the Chantry. I asked the Mages Collective to find and stop these false witnesses by any means necessary. They were traveling on along the road from Lothering to Denerim, where their lies will seal my fate. Notice of termination. There comes a time in each young mage's life that he must strike forth from beneath the shadow of his mentor. For my 3 young and unremarkable apprentices, this time is now. He who accepts this calling takes it upon himself to deliver documents of congratulations to my apprentices, who will no doubt be uninformed as to the contents of the missive. The apprentices' names are Steric, Alina, and Sheth. I have cleverly sent them away from my abode so that they may receive this information in a public place, thus guaranteeing the safety of my willing courier. You will find 2 of them in Denerim. The other is procuring a slightly rarer item from Orzammar. And be sensitive, I would not wish harm upon their delicate feelings. My brother's killer. My worst fears have been realized. A band of devilish Maleficarum are performing their profane rituals within close proximity to my own sanctum. This cannot stand. I, Jubasto, charge he who accepts this request to destroy the fiends before their evil brings unwanted attention from either Templars or demons to my back door. Travel to the Brazilian forest and slay these blasphemers. Herbal magic. Disaster! So consumed have I been in my personal projects that I have neglected to collect vital components of the herbal remedy I use to sharpen my mind for thoughts of the other world. Without it I am ruined, ruined! I will humbly reward any who bring me 10 bundles of deep mushrooms. With this, I can continue on my quest for enlightenment with a clear mind and fewer bouts with drowsiness and indigestion. May he who accepts this request be showered in riches and love from the Maker's heart for his noble and selfless act. This is literally my salvation. I can help that guy. That guy's got some indigestion. Letter of termination. My dear apprentice, I have sent this courier with a note to officially end your period of apprenticeship. I harbor you no ill will, and for despite your complete incompetence, you have failed to do lasting harm to myself or my work. Sadly, I will not have a chance to witness your floundering attempts at improvement. When you return from your current errand, your apprenticeship will be over. Now hurry! I have dire need of the supplies I sent you to procure. The Mage Terrester. I do gotta help that guy get his shrooms, I agree. I picked up a couple. Alright, well, apparently there's an issue getting on the boat over to the tower, and we are going to figure out what that issue is in the next episode. I appreciate so much those of you on YouTube for coming out and spending some time and watching episode 11. I know that this is a little bit of a shorter episode, but this is on a night that I don't usually stream, so I have to go to bed a little bit earlier. But I hope you enjoyed the episode. I really do appreciate you, and I'm so glad that you are watching these videos, and I hope that you will continue on to part 12. If you're binging this series down the line, it's ready and waiting for you. If you're watching these as they come out, we'll get it out to you as soon as we can. They take a little longer to get out on YouTube because my good friend Sean has to edit them up a little bit and make sure they're good to go. Regardless, thank you very much for all of your support. Don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, follow all the links in the description, and check out my merch store if you haven't already. There's some cool stuff in there. But I'll catch you in part 12. Thank you so much.